3, 2, 1, and we're live. It's not news, it's news. It's not news, it's news. It's not news, it's news. It's not the news. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. This is Angela with another edition of Not News, where I read to you headlines from my newsfeed and share with you my thoughts, ideas, perspectives on the headlines, the subject matter at large, the article, if I've read it or skimmed it. I'm first. Whoop, whoop. You number one. You the number one stunner. Share with you my thoughts and perspective on the article, the subject matter at large. I may be an expert on the subject matter, which is highly unlikely. It may not be, but it's not news. It's just my notes on the news. Like, share, comment, subscribe. We are working on our first 1,000 subscribers. And the last time I looked, we're like 4 people away from 400. Now, 333 was like I had a little private party. If I had been more organized or whatever, I guess I would have had like a 333 celebration. But y'all don't know that 3 is my favorite number. But 4 with 400, that's like a solid round number. I didn't watch my best friend's wedding. I didn't even look for it. I watched 3 hours of Bravo last night, and then I did reviews. I ain't got time for my best friend's wedding. Forget my best friend and their wedding. I need to watch it though. But I was laughing. 396. Oh, 396. Hey, Myosha. I was laughing though. That's what I'm trying to yay, keep the something going. I don't know who this is calling. They not locked into my phone, so I don't Okay, so let's get into it. Let us proceed with the notes from my newsfeed. Topless protester. I had heard about the topless protester at the Bill Cosby trial, but what I didn't know is that she was an ex-Cosby Show actress. So, she kind of has that, she has natural hair. I just saw an image from the back. She has kind of natural hair. She's light-skinned. She had like stuff painted on her. The feeling that I got when I saw it is, I don't know if you were around when the Cosby Show came out. I feel like I was in high school when the Cosby Show came out. And I remember when I went away to college, I had to get a little TV because I didn't know there was going to be TVs on the dorm. On each floor there was TVs. But I didn't know if I was going to have a TV. And how was I going to watch the Cosby Show if I didn't have a TV? And so I think I got one of those little $40 TVs. They were like a TV radio alarm clock hookup, so that I could see the Cosby Show. And when I started making schedules, it was like I had to schedule in the Cosby Show. I scheduled in the Black Student Organization meeting. I scheduled in the Cosby Show. I scheduled in my classes. But it was just like it was like a big thing. So when I was looking at that woman's image from behind, I couldn't see her face. But the feeling I got is that, wow, everybody was just looking to this man, this show, this situation is like the bomb diggity, the top of the top, the best of the best. And she was in pain, and there was nobody that could, she didn't have anywhere to share her pain or her distress. You know what I mean? Because if she had said, oh, I was on the Cosby Show, people would be like, oh, like she couldn't say, and I felt hurt or I experienced that, So anyway, that's just how I felt. Because I'm like, now I don't know about topless protests. I know that there are some people who have been like, well, men can go topless, so why can't women go topless? And, they protest topless. And, maybe it's not, to me, it seems like a little bit like on the cuckoo crazy side. But maybe it's not that. It's just breastises. Why do I think it's crazy, to show breasts? But, it just seems like the whole vibe and the writing on her and stuff, it was just kind of like, I don't know. And then I think about Cosby and the impact that the Cosby Show, you know, just that imagery and like the artwork that was around his brownstone. And when I went to school in New York and starting to understand like the brownstone culture, and you know, I remember my mother being an attorney and one of my teachers saying there are no black women attorneys, and this idea of me having grown up around, you know, a whole bunch of middle class black folks who were dentists and lawyers and doctors and the children of those people, and you never really saw that represented. I remember somebody saying at the Black Student Organization, well, you know, something about, well, I know I'm black because we have roaches and rats. And I'm like, is that what make you black? Because I don't. It's different across cultures. I think women should be able to be topless if they desire. Americans just sexualize everything. So, you know, it's just kind of like, I just remember, and then like the artwork and the music, and like, it just felt like, to me, I guess my experience of the Cosby Show is it just seemed like very affirming of like black middle class culture. You know what I mean? And I don't think I had ever really seen black middle. I mean, I lived it, so I knew it existed, but like in the media, it's like you never saw, you know, I don't know. You know, so. And then people sort of talking about, like, you know, some of the young people who worked on the Cosby Show, or maybe Malcolm Jamal Warner, I think I heard him talk about the fact that, you know, like, because that's where he came up as an actor, when he went out and he was doing his own show, it was like he had been spoiled in terms of what to expect in terms of his representation as an authentic black person. And like, so with his show, I think it was called Malcolm and Eddie, but it was like, be more black. And he's like, we are more black. You can't be more black than us because we black. What you mean be more black? You know, like he just wasn't used to, you know, what it's like out here. So it's just, I mean, and, you know, I guess that's part of like, you know, growing up and maturing. You know, we have to realize, we have to understand that, you know, this concept of like good and evil, like when we're dealing with people, when we're dealing with human beings, you know, we in situations, you know, we have to learn to take, you know, what we can benefit from and kind of leave the rest alone. And not, you know, it's snowing outside. Who knew it was going to snow? I remember about 5 years ago, I enjoyed the Cosby Show. I knew families like that in real life, so I found it more relatable. I could also relate to Good Times too. I love Good Times. Good Times. I like the artists on Good Times. I was kind of surprised as an adult when I heard that they were supposed to center Good Times around Michael as a intellectually advanced, young, progressive black guy, and that, you know, they ended up centering it around the other character as more of a buffoon and silly and foolishness. But I thought they covered a lot of interesting issues. You know, I watch Benson. I mean, not Benson. I watch Good Times. I watched the two shows with the little short black kids. I can't even remember what they were called. I watched Tootie on her show, Facts of Life. Ooh, you take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have. I was a TV girl. I watched all of the shows, but that was when I was little. But, you know, so I don't know. I just... your videos always make me proud. Oh, thank you. That's very sweet to say. So I don't know. So the topless protester. So I pray for all of us. Webster and Different Strokes. Dang, I used to know that theme song too. And Moving On Up, I knew that show. What was that? Not Good Times, but the you know, they moving up to deluxe apartment in the sky. Moving on up. Dang. So just prayers out to the women who feel that they've been affected. Hey, Andres. To Mr. Cosby and his wife and his family. It's so sad too, to me, like, you know, for somebody to have lost 2 children. I don't know. I mean, and I guess just like, you know, hoping that we have the ability to see through to the God and the good in each situation, and to put principles before personalities, and just connect with truth, and, you know, honor truth and be a respecter of truth. Be loyal to truth. Be loyal to God. So, I mean, Because I really didn't want. I haven't really been talking about the whole thing, but the topless woman and just that imagery was just kind of like, wow. Floyd Mayweather, someone else we don't want to talk about. Didn't Floyd Mayweather say, well, it's nothing wrong with your family being your charity, but he just seems like such a fool. He seems so lost. It's very, I don't know him, but like whenever he just seems like he comes out of his mouth with the most foolish things. World don't move to the beat of just one drum. Oh, what might be right for you may not be right for some. A man is born. He's a man of means. Then along comes you, and they got nothing but the G's. I don't know the song. I used to, but okay. Floyd Mayweather's bodyguard reportedly shot outside hotel, get it girl, in Atlanta. So they don't know if this was part of, they're going to shoot the bodyguard and then get him. I saw some guy that fought Floyd Mayweather. And I guess that this guy who fought Floyd Mayweather was someplace throwing stuff at cars and acting crazy. But, they're both, it just seemed kind of, So we don't know, the word at this point is they don't know if they were like getting rid of the bodyguard so they could get Floyd Mayweather. I think he's kind of known for like, I'm taking 8 million singles to he probably don't take singles to the strip club. He probably take hundreds, like for spending for conspicuous consumption. I think he's like the King Coon of conspicuous consumption. Conspicuous consumption. He's the king of conspicuous consumption. I don't know if he is or not, but that seems to be his specialty. He may not be the king, but it seems so. Maybe they was planning to rob him. That's what they're saying. That's all. I guess I care as much as anybody else getting robbed. China's first emperor flattened after windfall. So it was some statue, and I guess the wind knocked it over. But you figure these statues are made of stone. What kind of wind was it? Was it like a really strong wind? Was it a hollow statue? I don't know. But anyway, it was flattened after a windfall. Alabama cop killed 16-year-old burglary suspect, but this teen will spend 65 years in prison for it. I haven't read the story. I've read a couple headlines. I can't really read the story now. But rest in peace to the young person who was murdered, and to his family and his community, and also to the young person. I guess the cop is like, I killed this person and it's your fault. Is it a mess? The headlines look messed up. I'm like, I just can't right now. Yeah, it's, it really inspires, or I don't want to say it inspires, the cop killed him, but the youth is being charged with it. It kind of stimulates the feel, like, I feel like there's sometimes as a Black person in society, you can feel helpless. And so this type of situation, it just kind of make me feel like, well, they can just do whatever they want. And that's not a good feeling. Like they just go around doing whatever they want. Like sometimes, like when Zero first got elected, it was just like, dang, he just stay winning. He just stays winning. And it was like, I kept saying that and I had to try to like, Black people stay winning. We stay winning. We've already won, cause it's kind of like, so it's like I gotta do some emotional, spiritual work on this subject because it's kind of like I'm feeling a certain way and it's not productive and it's not in alignment with, the truth behind the veil of BS. We know it's a veil of BS, but the truth is not that. But it show, it's kind of like if you go to a movie or a play and you be like believing the stuff. That's how I feel. I'm like, I am so buying into the narrative at this moment. Indian school bus plunges into gorge, killing 27 children. So rest in peace to the children and their families and their community. We were just talking about the 14, I think they were kids in Canada, the hockey team. And so 27 children, and you assume if it's a whole bunch of children together, they're connected. So like, and it's like every child is like a hope. You know what I mean? It's like to me, the train that was riding was fired. This could have been my last day in this world. Oh my gosh. Wow. I'm sorry to hear that. Um, well, yeah, we all got to be safe. And then again, as safe as we can be, we never know when our last moment is going to be. You know what I mean? And we were all born, and I think, and we all going, we had a first moment, so we going to have a last moment. Yeah. But I don't know if it's like demystified, because I feel like I'm still like caught up in it, like the horror, like, I'm not talking about the 27 children, but I'm talking about, the child being sent to jail I'm just like, So yeah, 27 children is a lot. So, prayers out, and all of that as they're making their transition. But it's just like, I don't know, because in some communities, like 27, that's just like a lot of like, I don't know, like, we believe the children are the future, and it's kind of like 27 kids. That's a lot. That's a lot. Fingerbone points to early human exodus. Yeah, we're very glad that you're right. You're all right. So they're talking about earlier human exodus from the African continent than originally. Science is like theoretical anyway, so they have theories about how things might have possibly happened. I always think about, in my house, if I try to, like when I'm trying to, at the end of the night, reconstruct, now what did I eat? Did I eat them dates today or yesterday? I know I ate dates today and yesterday, but I'm just saying, when I'm trying to reconstruct what I ate, it's like, I don't know if I remember everything. So it's like if we trying to reconstruct something from 5 years ago, a year ago, 20 years ago, 200 years ago, 2 million years ago, how, how we, we don't have no. So, it's all theoretical anyway, in terms of what happened when, you just do the best you can with the evidence. Exclusive. Reporter April Ryan on being the White House whipping post and why she can't fix her face. I was looking for the part in the article where somebody told her to fix her face. But there was one part in the article, we have to be thankful for each day we are given. Yeah, and for each moment we have. And show our thanks in our actions, like just really, the best that we can, try to be in alignment with God in each moment, in alignment with good in each moment, in service, to our assignment from God, to our families, to our communities, to the truth as we understand it, and to love, But it's, at one point, April Ryan was like in some interview, and the person was saying something, and she was shaking her head, and the person was like, "Stop shaking your head." And so they were like talking about the policing of Black bodies. And sometimes stuff like that kind of trips me out, because it's kind of like, is it the policing of Black bodies? I mean, it probably is. And that's one of the things I love about Twitter. I mean, it's like sometimes I read some stuff on Twitter and I'm like, I have never thought about it like that. And sometimes it just really sticks with me and shifts like the way I process things, like for whoever the people I follow, it's like, it's just some interesting, I guess it's like deconstructing society, or deconstructing things that you just take for granted. You don't really think about it. Like, oh, you can't be out here dying. You gonna miss the live stream. Well, I hope you're practicing just taking deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling, and like really just getting connected to the moment that is now, and just being thankful for the life and the God that's moving through you right now, because it can be it's some moments when you be like, oh my gosh. That's right. Lufthansa, that's an airline, cancels 800 flights amid strike action. So I'm not sure what's going on. I think Lufthansa is like, I don't know what country it's from. I was going to say Lithuania, but it's not Lithuanian. I don't know. Because it seemed like I've flown Lufthansa, but maybe I haven't. Oh, Germany. The airline has axed half of its 1,600 scheduled flights, affecting 90,000 passengers. Workers are staging the walkout ahead of pay talks following a similar action in France. Y'all know I'm all here for people organizing and getting together and working collectively. Because if we don't work collectively, y'all know when they take a whole bunch of twigs and it's like, just break a twig. You break a twig, but when you put them all together, it's hard to break. I believe in that. Virunga National Park, DR Congo Rangers killed. Apparently this national park is a place where a lot of rebels, they call them, they operate from. So I guess these government employees who work there, I think in some period of time, it's been like 126 rangers that have been killed. I think I read that. That sounds like a lot when I'm saying it out loud. So I'm like, did I read that? Did I understand that correctly? Look, I'm hitting the article because I'm like, surely it's not 126. More than 130 park rangers have been killed in the park since 1996. So, yeah, that's a lot. Ambush by suspected rebels in the park. It's a place where Africa's most diverse wildlife habitat is endangered, including endangered mountain gorillas. Yeah. So rest in peace, to those particular rangers that were killed. And just, prayers out, like, let's send healing vibrations to the continent of Africa, clarity and wisdom and insight to the citizens, to the Black folks, and people throughout the world, that we may connect with truth and, let other stuff pass by, and that, the whole world and society is just elevated to a new level of consciousness and love and, added value, and that, we can look back and be like, dang, it used to be so chaotic. And now, like, and maybe, I don't know if you can look back in your own personal life, because sometimes that's what I think when I'm like trying to imagine stuff for the world. Like, I can think back in my own personal life to like times when I had like a lot of chaos. Like, I remember like growing up, I just felt like so ugly and just like, and then like oh my gosh, there is a yellow bird in the backyard with, it's like yellow, like with like black on it. I don't know what it is, but it's yellow, like lime green, like yellow, but not lime green, but like a bright yellow. But to times in my life when I felt, oh my gosh, it's like the worst. Like, when I was 10 years old, I was thinking about, maybe it's looking for the rabbit. Yeah, I looked for the rabbit this morning. I haven't seen it. It's funny. It's a little window seat along the back of maybe, well, on the other side is the porch. But over here is the window seat. I don't think I would have ever come over here if I didn't set up this little space right here. And it's just absolutely amazing. I remember when I used to sit on the porch and just like, I had my little garden and I watched the bees and the birds. And, it's like, it doesn't sound like it's out to me. It doesn't sound like, oh, I'm going to go sit and watch nature. But it's like whenever you do, you're like, oh, and I should know because I watch my dog. Like, what is she doing? Why is she doing it? What's going on? Look at that. But it's just the backyard. I mean, it ain't like it's a jungle out here. Well, it's kind of like a mini jungle, but I'm just saying, it's, but it's a lot of activity back here. And, I'm only here for a little while, and usually I'm looking at me or you, that little eye right there. So I don't even see what's going on. But when I think of my own personal life and transformation, it's kind of like if you would have asked me, like when I was 10 and I was like, forget about it. I'm not making light of it because it's not really funny, but I was like, forget about it. I'm killing myself because I'm miserable. And I was like thinking about suicide, but I'm also like, my personal thing is I have a thing about pain and fear. And it's kind of like I kept trying to figure out a way to kill myself where I could know that it would not hurt. And I could never figure out a way to kill myself where it would not hurt. So I think if I had been like, oh, well, if I take pills, it's not going to hurt, I probably would have been like killed myself. You know what I mean? Like that's how much like, how, unsettled I was inside and like how unhappy I was and how much distress I was. And, you know? And then, I can look back now and I'm like in a totally different place. And it's not like it's something that happened overnight, but I feel like I'm in a totally different place. Like, I know that I had that experience, but it's so far, it's so far away. So it's like as a society, as a world, may we look back and say, I'm glad we figured that out. It was so chaotic and crazy, back in 2018. Y'all remember how it was in 2018? It don't even seem real anymore. I mean, we just have so much peace and happiness now and so much productivity, and society is just so beautiful and wonderful. Happy day. Like, even though it sounds like cuckoo crazy to my mind in a way, I know that we personally can transform. So why can't we as a society, as a world, as peoples transform? We can do it. Yes, we can. I wasn't trying to. Okay. Texas mega church. Now, what do we usually hear about mega churches? I usually hear mess and confusion, but this is not mess and confusion. Texas mega church paid off $10.5 million in debt for local families. Let's give them 5 claps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 claps to the Texas mega church. Yes. And I hope that they, a lot of times when people get in debt, you can pay the debt off or they can file bankruptcy, but then they might be in debt again or they might be in bankruptcy again if they don't change the way that. So I hope that the church, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I hope that the church accompany the money with other types of currency, to transform lives. Now, it's true sometimes, a lot of people in this country are in debt because of medical issues. And if you could just get out of that debt, it's not like you made that, a lot of people in this country are in debt around medical issues. But then we also have to look at the consciousness that creates those medical issues. But, like if they could just get out of debt, they probably wouldn't, have cancer again or whatever, or the person who had cancer has already made their transition, or, how y'all probably know better than me. But like, I hope that they're like talking as a community about money, about, how we manage our money, how we think about money, building businesses, investing in ourselves, frugality and health and eating well. And, so yay to the mega church. How Meghan Markle dealt with painful white girls only club during childhood. I was kind of like, oh, so the people could tell that she was not white when she was a child. And so they were like, we have a white girls only club and you can't join. But no, they invited her to join the white girls only club. And she was kind of like, but my mama, I think, can't remember, but her mama is brown. She's like, but I'm not white. And then there was something she was saying where she was filling out a piece of paper. And like they were asking, check the box that describes your, who you are, your ethnicity or whatever. And it was like, African American or black or whatever, white, Asian, Latino or whatever, native. I don't know what the choices were. And she was like really stressed because she's like, it told her to only choose one box. And she's like, but if I choose black, then I'm denying my father. If I choose white, then I'm denying my mother. Like, and then her teacher came up and her teacher was like, just choose white. You look white, so you're just white. Like, what is the issue here? So I don't know. I just think this whole concept of this whole racial construct of race is interesting. And just, it's funny how something that's constructed and made up can be so powerful and can have, like, I don't even, like sometimes you can't even have a conversation about, it's hard for me to have a conversation and process things in the world without using that construct, even though I know it's just a construct. So it's kind of like, that's deep right there. Outrage after teen sentenced to 65 years in prison after Alabama cop kills his best friend. His best friend. I mean, just your best friend dying that's a lot, especially for a young person to process. And then for your best friend to have been killed, that's a whole nother level of processing. And then for your best friend to have been murdered by the cops, that's a whole nother level of processing. And then now you're going to jail. I mean, I'm just like, Oh, poor baby. I mean, I don't even know. That's a lot. The Handmaid's Tale reveals season 2 key art. The Handmaid's Tale, the people who do that work, is just so beautiful. But we are not surprised at all within this system. No, we're not surprised. But it's still, I don't even know. I mean, I think it's probably day to day, moment to moment how I feel. I don't know. I just it's just, I just feel bad for us. It's like, what were you doing when you were 16? I mean, when I was 16, I was like going shopping every weekend because I was going to parties. And, I wanted to have cute clothes to wear. And because, my sense of it was like I was really, really invested in clothes. You were trying to make it to 17. I was really, really invested in clothes because, I felt like that's all I had going for me. I don't know. I was going to school, but I was partying a lot. Now, Detroit is a party city. So, I mean, I grew up, by the time, once I could drive, it was like, especially in the summertime, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, party, 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 party. But, yeah. Yeah, I mean, everybody's experience is different, but I don't even know how I would, I mean, I guess you deal with what you have to deal with. I was in the house learning to do stuff. You deal with what you have to deal with. So I guess that if that had been my reality, I would have had to learn to deal with it. But, it's like, especially like working with young people, like when when you look at like, when I look at like a 16-year-old, I'm like, oh my God, they are like really, really young. Like, like they're not babies, but they like babies. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot for grown people to deal with. Like, that's a lot. The Handmaid's Tale reveals season 2 key art. There is some beautiful, beautiful, to me, artwork in that Handmaid's Tale on Hulu. Like some of those stills, when you're looking at the cinematography and like some of those shots, like especially from above, but just, and then that red, and it's like something that they've done with the film or something. I don't know what it's called, but it's like mono. It's something where the colors just, I don't know. It's just really striking, and it's just, to me, it's like its own thing. So, sometimes it's like you're watching the show and it's already so like, ugh, you feel like you're in a whole nother world. And then it's just like, there'll be an image that's just, I have never seen one. Now I'm curious. Yeah. It's kind of, I read the book because I knew that the show, we read it for book club, I think, because we knew, or because I was going to, whatever. But anyway, I got to figure out what I'm going to do with my Hulu or whatever. Because I got to, how much does a Hulu subscription cost? I guess I got to buy Hulu. I hate to bother my little cousin because it seemed like he barely have time to figure the stuff out. And then it's like, he already worked 2 jobs and I'm like giving him a job. Like, come over here and come over here, young chickadee. He like 30. Come here, young chickadee. $12 for the year? Okay. Dang, what I could do with that $12. But I'd spend $12 to see, because probably Harlots is coming back. And I love the Harlots being $12 a month. Oh, but I might even watch it. Get it for a few months. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. Somebody had said they were going to give me that Hulu. I think it was Poetry's mama. I'm like, how she volunteered her mama's Hulu code for me? But she ain't gave it to me. I guess that's, her mama was probably like, you can't give my code away to nobody. Okay, so women, but I want to see that. I like the Harlots. The TV show or the Harlots? Does Hulu have any other original shows? Those are the only shows I know on Hulu. Women can't seem to handle the truth about lynchings in America, tells Oprah not to divide us. So we were just talking about it's a TV show. Yeah, I reviewed it last year. It's a TV show. It's an original show on Hulu. The black holes, the harlots, all of that. So we were just talking about the lynching museum in Alabama and how it's opening this month. I guess that they did a thing on 60 Minutes because I saw it go across my Facebook feed last night or something. So I think, so anyway, I guess some of the women, Oprah is working for 60 Minutes now. She was doing a story on the lynching museum, and some people were like, "Why are you dividing us?" Because she said what somebody else had done and what our experience has been. Now that's silencing. Just shut up and don't, I'm going to beat your behind, but you just shut up and don't say nothing because you'll make me feel bad if you say something. No. 13 places to visit in May for every type of traveler. I think they had Mauritania in Africa, on the African continent. I'm not going to it. Body of black female recovered near cliff crash site, believed to be Hart family member. So the Devontae and his siblings, I think they were all his siblings who had been adopted by the women. Remember, 3 of the bodies were missing of the 6 children. I think this is one of the missing bodies. I don't know. I guess yay. I wonder if they have like family who's, how sometimes people get into the system but they still have family, or people who know they exist. Like, do they have family out there? I wonder, like who's coming to the funeral? Is anybody mourning them? Is anybody, I don't know. I don't even know if we have like proper rites and burials for black folks in this country, but I'm just saying, I don't know. Tammy Duckworth becomes first U.S. senator to give birth in office. This country is 200 years old, 300 years old. So this is the first U.S. senator to give birth in office. The first. It's probably only, I think we Googled it, it's only been 3 black women or black senators, maybe black women senators. So it hasn't been very many women senators. And I guess somebody who's young enough to be of birthing age. Yeah. Yep. But I still believe that when we're making our transition that, we're not conscious in the same way that, those of us watching are. So that there's a certain, when people talk about having out of body experiences or whatever, that's what I choose to believe, I guess. That, in their last moments, they were at peace. In their last moments on this side, they were in peace, at peace. And then they were received by the ancestors on the other side. And they gave them a hug and, Welcome to Sweetie Pies to end after season 5 on OWN sets premiere date. I think I watched the first, maybe the second season, and then one of my cousins went to Sweetie Pie. She made a special trip to go there, she and her husband. And she was like, the food was okay. I'm like, yeah, it seems like it would be that kind of place where it's like a tourist place. They're not really, if you a one-shot deal, the food don't have to be good because you're not coming back, You know what I mean? Like they got the whole show that's a commercial for the business. So they probably got a steady flow of people going there. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I haven't ever been there, but anyway, they're going off. New York Times, Israelis watch bombs drop on Gaza from front row seats. So, in the same way that when, some of the times when black folks were being lynched, it would be like, hey, we're having a party, bring your coleslaw and let's watch the lynching. I guess these people have their picnic chairs or whatever set up and they're watching people get killed. Okay. I don't know who does that. I don't understand. That's barbaric. So that's what the New York Times is reporting. That's disgusting, and they ought to be ashamed of themselves. And that's like awful. Good Friday Agreement at 20, is it broken? The Good Friday Agreement had something to do with Ireland and England, and it was interesting kind of skimming the article, just looking at all of the white men, because it's kind of like, I guess they're fighting each other, or they were fighting each other. And I remember years ago seeing movies about the Irish Liberation Army, and and then now I never really hear anything about it, but I used to see more art house type films. But it's kind of like, I guess this Good Friday Agreement ended that conflict or whatever, or transformed it into something else. But I never really understood what was going on with Ireland and England, or Ireland and the UK, or whatever anyway. But I had never heard of the Good Friday Agreement. Have you? That's all I was just like, oh, the Good Friday Agreement? Moving on. I just love being black because it's who I am. I mean, among other things, but A Quiet Place. That's the name of a horror movie. Have you seen that? The horror movie shaming cinema snack eaters. I guess the film is basically pretty quiet. So like if you're in there eating popcorn, everybody can hear you, because there's not like a lot of bombs going off or cars crashing into each other and, guns being shot. I don't know what kind of horror film it is. A war over the church, Protestants versus Catholics. Well, what they fighting? I mean, just go worship in your church. I mean, well, why we gotta fight? I don't understand. But my suggestion for the theaters that are filming A Quiet Place, I saw the other day on something where some people were eating popcorn soup. You should serve popcorn soup. It's probably soggy, less crunchy. You can eat popcorn soup silently. I can't wait to see that movie. Awesome concept, A Quiet Place. It sounds eerie to me. Especially, you know what I heard? What's that movie? It's an old movie. Brother from Another Planet. Now, I watched that movie when it came out, or whatever, however many years ago. And then I was reading something about Morton, the actor. I think his name is Morton, the main character. And they were like, now, he's a good actor, when in that whole movie, he didn't really say anything. I'm like, he said something in Brother from Another Planet? And people are like, he did not say anything in Brother from Another Planet? Joe Morton. And so now I've been like, I need to I need to add that. I need to keep a list right here. Brother from Another Planet has already been on my list, and My Best Friend's Wedding. So yeah, I want to see the actor who's quiet, because as actors we can sometimes, they tell you it's in between the words where the real moment is. But as actors, we want to. And then I went to the store for some water. I was so thirsty. See Barry with Ryan Reynolds. Is that a horror film? Is it funny? My imagination is too vivid now. I can't be watching too many horror films, because then can't sleep. Can't sleep at night, can't sleep in the day. Stressed, more overstimulated, scared. What's going to happen? Am I going to get buried? Is it about being buried alive? Facebook, Cambridge Analytica warning sent to users. Did you get one? Did you? I don't know if I got one. I didn't check. So they letting the people know if Cambridge Analytica had your information. Probably if you voted for Trump, maybe you got one. I'm just saying, I probably didn't. I mean, they probably didn't compromise me, because they probably figured it would be a whole bunch of work to try to turn me to vote for that fool. But I don't even know why they had to turn the people, because Putin's vote is the main vote that counted. What did the people's vote have to do with anything? Welcome to American democracy. Even before Putin, it was somebody else making the decision, not the voters. Is it the voters? Do you believe that voters count? The votes matter? It is not a horror movie, but it takes place entirely inside a box in which he is buried alive. He only has a flashlight. I don't know. Thor director Taika Waititi says New Zealand is racist. And some people were like, Only in local elections. He only had a flashlight and a cell phone, and he wakes up inside the box. I can't read scary books like Stephen King. Right, I used to like Stephen King. I think Pet Sematary was the last book of his I read. It was like I was kind of close to the end. It was like 12:30, 1 o'clock, and I looked up, and it's like, oh, shoot, I can't go to sleep because I'm scared. And so I had to stay up all night reading the book. And it was like I was like hiding in the closet, like, oh, my God, I'm going to have to, it was like, I was like, I can't take the stress. But that's Stephen King. I like his writing ethic. He's so inspirational. What's our next movie, Yapo? So he said that New Zealand is racist, and some people were like, what, are you saying the whole country is racist? Are you racist too? Because you're from New Zealand? I was trying to read A Nag of Bones, and that was it for me. Viacom counter proposal asked for 2.8 billion CBS often or sweetener. So I guess that Viacom is trying to buy they negotiate, and Viacom said, well, if you offer 2.8 million, I might consider your deal. You know how like we negotiate, they negotiate. And she said, sweeten it up with 2.8 million, boo. I might think about it. Gang members firebombed black homes to make them leave. This continues this conversation. Remember, I said there seems to be like some beginning of a conversation, like, Latinos against black. That's what this story is. It's like some Latino gang members are mad at the black people and they fight. I guess I'm always suspicious of these stories. No, I didn't see Stephen King's Cell with Samuel L. Jackson. Back page. So that's the story, though. I mean, that's the headline. Don't check it out, Sonia. We're going to see it on movie night. Oh, you're going to check it out so you can see it on the movie night. Okay. Backpage.com, sex advert website seized by FBI. So they say that they're trying to stop sex trafficking. So that's why, and then the company did have some suspicious behavior because the company did have some suspicious behavior, because if somebody placed an ad being like, yeah, I got some children to sell, they'd just be like, sir, you have to change your ad. You can't say you got children to sell. They wouldn't say, what? We're not selling an ad to you. Be banished, you child seller. We're reporting you to the cops. It was like they were like, we'll make your ad like this, So, yeah, that's so Yapo's movie night on channel Yapo Yapa is Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern time, and the movie is Buried. So I guess you're supposed to rent the movie, get the movie in advance so you can watch it simultaneously in chat. And there will be an official start time when you say ready, set, go, and everybody pushes play at the same time. It's like community unity in action. So that's what's going on with Backpage. Some of the people who are sex workers are like, look, if I have to go out on the street and try to find Johns, try to find, work, then that makes it more dangerous to me. Yay, I would like to see a split screen. I already told you that. That makes it more dangerous to me. It's better for me to be able to filter people and screen people through an advertisement than be out on these streets, fighting with these men, so you making my life more dangerous as a sex worker. And the FBI is like, we don't care, all of these sex ads, it's a wrap. Here's how to know if you were one of the 87 million Facebook users whose data was breached. You know how to find out. Do you care? I heard about those bombings with Latinos by a congresswoman on Afri Synergy's YouTube channel in Louisiana, California, LA, California. Yeah, I didn't read the article. This is the second time I've seen the headline though. So I guess if it becomes like some theme, or if I see something that makes it, but in general, I kind of like, I know there are some people out here who are like in terms of where they get their gossip from. I guess there's one big gossip site that's like in Africa, and some people are like, well, that's Africans and we're Black Americans. And, I don't really have that perspective. Or like, well, they're Latinos and we're Black, and, I don't know. I just haven't had that experience. So I try to like stay away from, certain kinds of stories, because I feel like it perpetuates certain types of ideas and vibration, and I'm not necessarily here for it. Saudi Arabia sets Cannes Film Festival debut with official pavilion shorts. Ooh, have you ever been to the Cannes Film Festival? Do you like film festivals? Do you go to film festivals? I love a film festival. We have something here called Freep. I've never done Freep, but I do Cinetopia. Just found the story. I will check it out later. I do Cinetopia because we'll go to Cannes. You don't have to wish, just do it. I do Cinetopia because I've seen a whole bunch of good films here. And I like a good film, like an art house film, on I just like, just some stuff I wouldn't have seen by, not Hollywood mainstream stuff. Some of that's good too, but, just different voices from different people and different perspectives and, different styles. And, some of the stuff is interesting. And I think by the time it warms up, our Cinetopia will be here. And I might just go buy a pass instead of volunteering. But then I feel bad, like they need volunteers. Dang, I got caught up. I just spoke to my wallet and it said I wanted to go. It's still laughing. Well, just put it out to the universe. Don't talk to your wallet, talk to the universe. Didn't we used to have Black Film Fest? Let's start one. There is one. Isn't there one in Miami that happens every year? There are a couple Black film festivals. So you should Google it. And I don't know if there's like a whole, there might be like, well, there are only Black film festivals that do this or that, and I want to start one that does this. But I think that there are a couple Black film festivals out here. Because I have a friend who used to go every year to Miami to a Black film festival. So yeah, check out the ones that exist. Oh, it's Babylon. Babylon! You naughty dread. I'm a bald head, but I'm a dread, but I'm just not, I don't have locks anymore. But Uber is buying a startup that rents electric bikes to adults, and they plan to take it global. So we have all of these like around town. There's like, it started off being like two. It's a cardinal in the backyard. Oh, I think that's his partner. I can't tell. It started off being like just one site where you could it was like 5 or 10 bikes. And by the end of the summer last year, it seemed like it was about 20 or 30 sites. But they were like literally like pedal bikes, like you had to bike. And I guess these are electric bikes, like you could just get on them and ride. I like the idea of the pedal bikes, at least because it seemed like you're getting some exercise. But I know when I was like in other parts of the world, like in Dominican Republic, I know like we were on bikes, like when we got places and we were like trying to get taxis or people to take us places, it was like people on bikes, like motorcycles to bikes, not pedal bikes. The African nation of Djibouti, DJIBOUTI, is quickly becoming a military outpost for U.S., China, Italy, and others. But will it pay off? It seems like I just heard about the Djibouti, a couple, is it Sam Bradford? Huh? Sam Bradford? I don't know. I just heard about Djibouti. It seemed like within the last, week or so. So this little article was interesting. Like, it's a small nation. It's Muslim. And all of these colonial powers are like in, a field trip. Yeah, we should. Where would we go? To Costa Rica? To Ghana? The Horn of Africa, location, strategic. Yeah, it's strategic. So that's all, I'm just like bringing it into my consciousness to pay attention to Djibouti, which I never heard of really, but it's a small place, but it's small but mighty, obviously small, but strategic. Belgrade's tiny head Gagarin statue causes dismay. So they were making some kind of statue like to commemorate somebody. I don't know who he is, but he plays for the Cardinals. You said you saw a cardinal in the backyard. No, not that kind of cardinal. Oh, a travel club. There are a couple good travel clubs out there too. Um, there's one who has a YouTube page. I can't remember her name. Um, it's called No Madness, like a nomad, but like no madness. And her name is Evie or something like that. So I've watched a couple of her videos, and there's one that's like, you know, the hoity-toity black travel club. It's a couple black travel clubs out there. So that would be fun. And the people who hit the America spots first. Yes, yes. You know, we could do Africa or Paris. Oh, what I was going to say is we could like do a tour of like all the museums. Like, you know, there are a whole bunch of like, because like from here, like there was this exhibit at the DIA. It was called like 100 Americans, but it was like all black folks. And then one of the artist that ended up doing Obama's portrait, I had seen his work there, and then I saw that it was like at a museum in Ohio, like Cleveland. I get confused about Ohio, but it's one place that's like only an hour away from us, and it was like there. And I was like, ooh, now my parents have this thing called Pitch Black Community Arts Institute. I'm like, ooh, we should have a Pitch Black field trip to the museum. And then I had joined like this, like, I think it was Cleveland, but I had joined like this Facebook page to try to find like the black businesses in the area. Cause I'm like, we can have a trip. We go, we can see his work. Cause it's an exhibit of just his work. The African American Museum in DC, the Charles H. Wright Museum here. We were talking about the Jim Crow Museum, the Lynching Museum in Alabama. And I was like, we go see his work, and then we could go to some black old restaurants, and we can have food, and woo, 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 woo. Great food there where in DC. I've eaten some good food in DC, and they have a soul veg. So any place that has a soul veg, even though it's kind of janky food, I'm all here for soul veg. It's too greasy, it's too salty, it's too you know. But yeah, I would love to do like, you know, all of the different little big and little museums, because there's one on my little list called River Road Museum, and that's like in Louisiana. They send me stuff. So yeah, that would be, yes, 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 yes. Belgrade, but like, yeah, to find like some black owned businesses to support. Cause like when we went to Dallas, the Jim Crow Museum. Okay. When we went to Dallas, I was like, well, cuz where, you know, where black owned restaurants, and they don't know. I had to Google and try to find a black community and a black museum to visit. Cause, you know, like, I'm like, we having a family reunion. We not going to see the historically black neighborhoods around. Like, what we doing, cuz? We just gonna have mac and cheese and sweet peach cobbler, cuz? We not even gonna have, when I was growing up, when we had family reunions, we had a talent show. But he did, but anyway, that was a whole nother thing. But yeah, okay, we're gonna go to the Jim Crow Museum. It's planned. Start promoting it. We don't know when yet, but it's gonna be soon. Because that's if it's stuff in the Midwest, you have to hit while it's warm. So you have time. You don't have to hit it while it's warm, but it's better to hit it while it's warm. And we can find out, I don't know what's around Ferris State University. But that's where my mother was, you know, my mother went to school there. She was one of the founders of the Delta chapter. We can all coordinate it. Yes. Yes. Because I was going to say the Deltas might be able to help us out in terms of finding businesses or whatever there. I guess. I don't know. She ain't really a good Delta, so maybe we shouldn't rely on the Deltas. But I'll ask Jamon Jordan. The fire that was in the eyes, like the passion that Jim has for Molly. Wait a second, you talking about Married at First Night? Not Jim, Molly and John. I don't know what you talking about, Andres. But anyway, when does that come on? Tuesday? Okay. So anyway, there's a statue in Belgrade or whatever, and it's supposed to be like a memorial. Like, let's say it's a memorial to Angela. But the way the statue is made is like, all you can see is like Angela's head sticking out like here. Like you can't, and it's like a metal square, and like then just like my head. But it's like, oh, this is the first person who went to space. So people are like, well, maybe you have to be in space to appreciate the statue. Like you got to go up high to look down low to be able to see, to appreciate the memorial to this person. So they're complaining about it. The tiny head Gagarin statue. I thought it was kind of, I don't know if it's funny, but it's like art, like somebody's artistic vision. People just did not like it. And I felt bad because they tried. Where the hell are all the Black Panther toys? I guess they only came out with 9 or 12 of them or something, and the people done bought them up. Did y'all buy up the Black Panther toys? Is that what had happened? What are the toys? The action figures? I remember I used to watch somebody who did a review of The Living Dead, and he had like action figures all behind them. So are those the toys? What are the toys? What we doing with them? Just collecting them? They didn't have enough money to finish it. So they're like, okay, we just gonna make a square. Shoot. And then you think yeah, I'm gonna carve, and you start a project, and then you be like, making this head was a job. So we just gonna finish it off. I can make a square. I only got the memorial, the service. The service is like next week, and you like made it to here. That show 100% has me in. I love the Black Panther movie. Well, did you buy the toys? The action the Black Panther toys. Nigeria's Buhari to run in 2019 elections. So Buhari apparently is a leader in Nigeria. He's older. He's 74, 75. He's older. And he has been sick most of his term. I noticed that there are not a lot of Black Panther toys. Who playing with the toys? What we doing with the toys? They're collector's items, right? That's what they are. Action figures. Because I wanted to have one with Michonne. When I saw the one where she had the sword, I was like, ooh, I have one action figure, and it's the green M&M. The one with the eyelashes and the white go-go boots. And I like the chocolate M&M with the glasses because she reminds me of me. But I like the girly M&M because she was girly. Chadwick has an action. That's all I have. I don't think. So I would be open to the chocolate M&M action figure. Power Rangers. So he is older. He's been sick this whole term. He spent a lot of time in Europe getting medical treatment. He has not disclosed what his sickness is, but he did disclose that he's running for office again. So what you gonna do? I love their hair and war makeup. Yeah. I don't know if I said anything to you, Andres, but I really do love Married at First Sight. I don't know if you heard me talk about the arranged marriages yesterday on this show, but I was thinking about, Married at First Sight a little bit. Uber to buy electric bicycle sharing firm Jump. Amazon. Go to Amazon if y'all want the action figures. They probably sold out on Amazon or being very pricey, because they're hard to find. Big increase in Antarctic snowfall. So there's been more moisture in the air at the same time that there has been the meltation of the polar ice caps and stuff. There's been more moisture in the air, so more snow. Arranged marriages, I'll take that. Oh, would you? Oh, I would love to arrange some marriages. Put some people together. Look at their, their charts, their vibrations, their lifestyles. Slim pickings out here. Ooh, girl, stop saying that. Stop saying that. You have an abundance of choice. Black Panther is the third highest grossing movie of all time, behind Titanic and Avatar. I thought it just passed Titanic. It was number 3, and I thought it passed Titanic. So that's what I had heard. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm just telling you what I had heard. Movie buff. NYPD killed Saheed Vassell after he was haunted by the fatal police shooting of his best friend. I might have it backwards. So the young man who got killed the other day, his best friend, they say his best friend had been killed, I think within the last 5 years. I don't know exactly when his best friend had been killed by the cops, but that kind of shifted him. They said he was never the same after that. It's like, just think of all of the people who are mourning and who are never the same. Well, are you familiar with Nollywood? Do you do Nigerian movies? Nigerian film cinema, like that whole thing? Are you familiar with that? Are you like a film person too? Because I've seen some YouTube videos where there's kind of like conversation about how to mature the Nigerian market and like improve the quality. Oh, you've never seen? Yeah, a lot of it is in English and English with subtitles. I started watching the show that I watch, Skinny Girl in Transit. It's a sitcom. It's like a comedy, but it's in English with maybe a little Europe or whatever. You're not trying to write a screenplay. You are writing a screenplay. And there are plenty of men, there are plenty of eligible men out here. You're not a desperado. You ain't even got to worry about that. I don't even know you, but you ain't, Mm-mm. But I think arranged marriages are good. So I started watching that, and what I noticed is I think I'm developing like an ear for, you were right, by the way, past Titanic, Star Wars, Force Awakens, and Avatar are ahead. Okay, so we're gaining. It's like when you're look, I think I'm gaining, like I'm Disney or Marvel. We're gaining. I made a big mistake talking into the recorder. It was mistakenly erased. Oh, your screenplay. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's kind of frustrating when that happens sometimes. But sometimes it makes for a better product. So we just going to say it's going to make for a better product. A better movie. Better movies. So, the just all of the people who are dealing with grief. We're talking about Saheed Basso and his best friend who had made his transition, having been shot by cops. So just all of it, and then they say that he's never been the same after that. And we saw it with Stefan and his brother, who people say, was kind of like in distress and grief, over the loss of his other brother already, and now he has another brother on top of it. But just, different people experience and express grief differently. But even if you don't have any, next time I'll write it down sooner. Now I have to reimagine stuff. Yeah. Because sometimes I like write, and I have ideas, and if I don't write them down, it's like I knew I was going to remember them, but then when I go to write them, it's like I can't quite remember them. So it's kind of, some of the stuff, it's like it's ephemeral, like you think you can catch it, and then it seems like you can't quite catch it. But that's okay, because it wasn't for you. Something better. It's because you're going to catch something better. That's all I'm saying. You're going to catch something better. I know it. Believe it. I had some great lines too. Oh, yeah. But the other ones are going to be even greater. Are they? It's going to be greater. Yes, they're going to be greater. So just, being sensitive and kind of paying attention to ourselves when we're dealing with grief, whether it's from, our parents, there are a lot of things that change. Also, as you type it at various points, email it to yourself so that even as your computer crashes, you still have access to it in the cloud. So, as our friends and as we, deal with our parents making their transitions and other people making transitions, just remembering to check in with people, and that sometimes it may seem like, oh my God, that happened a year ago that person passed away. But to the person who, I have a friend whose brother passed away when it's been a good 20, 25 years. And sometimes if I talk to, if I spend time with her, he comes up, she talks about him, she thinks about him all of the time. 7 African powers. Ooh, like the oil or the incense or the concept, the 7 African powers. Yeah, on this video, I was talking about arranged marriages and different dating sites, and I was thinking about, Married at First Sight. So it wasn't an overt conversation about Married at First Sight. It was like secret code with those of us who are like part of the MAFS world. I was just thinking about it as I was talking about all of that stuff. Trump Tower fire victim Todd Brasner hated living there. He had been trying to get out of his situation there. So I'm like, I don't know. Did somebody set him on fire? What happened? I don't know. I mean, that's kind of how the stories make you feel about it. The Simpsons address Apu racial stereotype controversy. So somebody made a film about one of the characters in The Simpsons who was like Indian, and people are like, oh, everybody in that in the TV show is a stereotype. So I don't know why. It depends. Marriage is sometimes a Marriage is sometimes about love. It just depends. But I do think it's transactional. I think all relationships are transactional. You know, people are like, what am I going to get out of it? Do I get a good feeling out of it? Do I get money out of it? Do I get, company out of it? What do I get out of it? Like on Married at First Sight, homeboy, he want to have live-in sex. I guess she wash the dishes and cook or whatever. I don't know. And the idea of having a wife, but that's all he want out of it. And she wants something else out of it, it seems. But now she seemed like she just happy. She just want the fantasy of being married. But I think this all transactional. Even your friendships. What are we getting out of them? Why am I friends with that person as opposed to that person? I can't with Molly. I'm really stressed about what's going to happen this week. Okay. So, the whole Apu thing, they're like, everybody is stereotypes on that show. So I don't know why you're upset because there's an Indian person who's a stereotype. Everybody is a stereotype. The white people are stereotypes. I've watched The Simpsons before. So I don't know. And maybe they are all stereotypes, except that I think that it's just like when you see fools, like white men who are fools on sitcoms, it's so many images of white men out here that it's not like, you don't like leave like, oh, all white men are fools, because you have white men who are fools, white men who are heroes, white men who are wise, white men who are crazy. I mean, you get the whole spectrum of white men. You know what I mean? Whereas somebody said that's the only Indian person that, Southeast Asian Indian person that you see. And so it is like, so I think it's different. I don't think you can have the same conversation about white male stereotypes and basically everybody else. But anyway, so they had the character that's supposed to be the most progressive be like, oh, well, Apu is whatever. I don't know what she said, but some people were like offended. Like, that's some, y'all are some punk or some, weak people. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have asked for charity donations instead of wedding gifts. Like after they a certain age, they already established what we gonna give them for their wedding. See, when I want you to give me money so I can travel. And I was listening back to some of my notes on the news feed, trying to add titles to stuff. And there was one article about people who on their wedding registry, they were asking for stuff like Doritos or, $400 China set, a plate that was $400, and people were offended. Like, why are they asking for toilet tissue on their registry? I'm like, people can ask for whatever they want. You don't have to give it to them. Sometimes I go look at the registry and then I go and I buy somebody what I want to give them. And then sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I'll just get them. They had this on the registry. Here you go, a purple folder. Happy marriage. I don't care what's on the registry. It don't bother me none. But I think that's cool. They just make a donation to the charity, I guess, of their choice. New Telemundo headquarters in Miami mixes sound stages with offices. Is that how Tyler Perry's hookup is? Is that how OWN is? It's like soundstage with offices. They can record original movies there. Escape from his family. You think that John is trying to escape from his family? They supposed to stay down where his family... Initiate conversations about attacks on unions. WSLC urges. I don't even know what that is. How about donating bathroom facilities for a West African town? More and more people aren't tithing in their churches, so the crown's losing money. LOL. Yeah. Yeah, maybe not bathroom facilities so much, like, like water and schooling seems to be like a big issue. Like this issue of like uniforms for school. I mean, that just seems like a constant conversation. You hear people saying, well, I didn't have money for uniform, so I had to leave school. And it's kind of like, how did that happen? Memorial planned. How about donating plane tickets to the white South Africans so they can get the hell out? Shit, I wish I would donate a plane ticket to them. I'm going to donate a kick in the butt. How about that? How about that? A plane ticket? Brother Yapo. Memorial plan for teen who was found in trunk of mother's car years after disappearance. How you gonna ride around with your baby in the trunk of your car? So anyway, the teen is finally getting a memorial. I don't know how do you do that? Don't you feel a vibration? I mean, did the spirit, does the blood of your child, in the U.S., you don't have to kill to be a murderer. This is talking about the child who is supposedly going to jail for the cop killing his best friend. Bhutan's Shangri-La caught between two rival superpowers. India engineless train rolls back for miles. Okay. And that's it. Put them on some ships at the bottom. That's it. That's it. That's all I got for this edition of Notes on the News. I think I shouldn't have been talking so much after I finished Notes on the News yesterday. Because I think, you're supposed to stay focused. Like if the title says it's Notes on the News, I think the job is to do Notes on the News. Just get out. You guys are funny in the chat. Mm-hmm. Yes, they are. Okay. So what's new and good with you all? Oh, I forgot to tell you. I just looked right at it. So yesterday I had about 48 ounces of water. Get your move on. Get your move on. Just get your move on. We love the note on the news feed, Angela. 48 ounces of water, 6 servings of fruits and vegetables. I had a pear. I made some veggie soup. It was basically cabbage soup, but I had some other veggies in it. It was so delicious. And I had some dates and a banana. So that was my 6 servings. I had a whole bunch of soup. It was good, too. It was real good. I like that soup better than the roasted. A pear of what? A pear. I didn't have a pair of pears. I just had a pear. So what's new and good? What you looking forward to? Did y'all used to do that at parties? I'm being good. No sugar. Wow. You can talk about anything. I'm talking about what's new and good with you. I had 2 pears and grapes. Ooh, sparkling water. In sparkling water or just sparkling water? Eating healthy and feeling good. Well, that's exciting. Yay. A pair of big breastises. Chicken breasts. You ate some chicken breast yesterday? When I ate chicken, I like the dark meat. Like I like drumsticks. I don't know why. I think that was my, just sparkling water. Yeah. Do you have a favorite brand of sparkling water? I used to like the brand name at Whole Foods, whatever it is, like their generic sparkling water. I thought was pretty good. But Gerolsteiner. You still looking? You still looking for breastises bigger than yours? All right. Well, if nobody has anything new or good that they want to report, share. Oh, the mineral water from Aldi. Is it the Topo Chico? I can't find the Topo Chico here. I found it once on Limited, but I had heard that was like their main brand. And then over the summer, they had some in glass jars, but now they have it in like cans and plastic. And I'm not big on cans or on aluminum or plastic. So if it's not in glass, from Italy, yeah. Where are you going to live, Yafo? You can't have private chats on YouTube. Oh my God, it's 5 o'clock. All right. So on that note, be you, Angela, and everybody in the room. Be fabulous. Be fabulous, you. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous, you. Like, share, comment, subscribe. You are the best. You are the best. You are the greatest. Bye, fam. Peace. Peace out. Peace. Peace. Okay, so the Jim Crow Museum. Next stop, Jim Crow.